the audio up. All right, everybody. You guys ready to knock into this thing?
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. Today I have with me Cam and his damn jam band. How you fellas doing?
Fantastic.
No complaints?
No.
None at all? Man, you guys are awesome. Let's go ahead and go through and do names, occupation within the band. I already know, but let's let the people know, you know?
Cool. Well, hello. I sing and play guitar and dance around on stage.
Nice.
Hello. It's Brian, the sax guy. I watch Cam dance on stage.
I guess keeping with the awkward. Hello. My name is Max, and I'm that dude that slams on all the things in the back of the stage, formerly known as a drummer.
Nice.
Rhythmic slamming.
Rhythmic slamming.
Hello. I slap at a bass, and sometimes they let me sing. So
Slap it a boss.
Your name's Garrett Gray.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! All right, well, I'm glad to have you guys out. I'm glad we could line this up.
Appreciate you
I'm
having
stoked
us.
to hear the story. So I don't know where to start. Where do you guys want to start? Anybody an original? You guys all original members, or how does the lineup go?
In terms of like original members, it would probably be Garrett and I because we met each other back in college, and we had a jam that kind of was really cool and magical, and we kind of looked at each other at the end and we're like, hey, this was great with all these other musicians, but you want to jam? Because that was cool.
That was tight.
Yeah, it was really tight, and ever since then we just kind of really locked in pretty immediately. And then just kind of played as a duo for like a year and a half,
We
2
called
years.
ourselves Jumbo Shrimp at one
Yeah,
point.
went by Jumbo Shrimp and played like open mic nights in Dahlonega and stuff.
So like acoustic duo or like
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Sometimes electric. It was bass and guitar for a lot of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the goal from the start is to find a band, right? Or
Pretty
kind
much,
of?
yeah.
Yeah, that's where it started. We were jamming, and we had spent, like 2.5 years in Dahlonega just playing and starting to write music, and it hit us. We don't really want to be a bluegrass band, and that's about all you can find in Dahlonega. There's some fantastic bluegrass musicians, but we want to play rock and roll.
Totally.
So that's when we moved down here to Athens, and we were like, let's find a band. And we found ourselves a band.
Look at you guys go. Look at them.
It's a great spot.
You guys are from Dahlonega?
I grew up there.
Did you say you were in college there?
He went to college there. I grew up in Dahlonega my whole life.
Very cool. Okay, I didn't know that about you guys. That's awesome. So what was it about Athens in particular? Was it just like the music folklore of it, or the rock capital of the South? I don't know.
Not quite. I was a grad student whenever that was the original reason I moved to Athens.
Nice.
Was I was a UGA grad student in the chemistry department.
Oh, well, that worked out nicely then.
It worked out extremely nicely because, as it happened, when you're a chemistry graduate student, you teach undergraduate labs, like Chemistry 101, basically.
Yeah.
And I met Senor Brian here as a student. Yeah, in one of my he was a student in one of my labs, and I had a guitar on me because I had this break in between like some of my classes and the lab and everything. I was just going to go and play some guitar.
Just
like,
flexing on campus, no big deal.
That's exactly the reason. You're totally right. But I had this guitar, and I walked into lab, and I like put it back on the bench, and I was walking around, and at one point Brian just goes, for some reason he decided to antagonize me all the time. He just goes, hey, I just want you to know that having a guitar and bringing it to class doesn't make you cool. And I was like, okay, I don't understand why you're coming at me like this.
Oh,
he goes,
man.
Well, he was just one of those TAs you had to mess with.
Yeah.
Right?
And you guys had met before or no?
Well,
I mean, we were
in class.
In class. He was just my teacher. So I was like...
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's one of the guys I had to mess with.
I love that. That's classic. Good little roast.
Yeah, so he roasted me about that, and he followed it up pretty much immediately with, oh, by the way, just so you know, I'm a god-tier sax man.
He said that?
Well, word for word. That's exactly what he said.
God tier.
I'm a
I love
god-tier
that.
sax man. And my response, also word for word, bet.
Yeah.
So very soon after, he came over and played some music and proved that he wasn't lying.
I love that. I love loving that confidence roaring out of this guy. God
I'm
tier.
the most confident one in the band.
That's how I introduced him as the most confident member of the band. And it worked out because me and Cam had talked for ever since we started playing together, we were like, a sax would fit this. We want a sax on this. But that's going to be a piece that's coming like later down the line when we can afford it. You know, like we'll put the band together and then hire a saxist maybe way down the line. And the next piece of the band was a sax player.
Interesting.
That was
That's
bought
hilarious.
in. It was awesome.
So you guys had the sax before the drums.
Yes.
Indeed. He introduced us to Max.
And, in fact, I didn't come until significantly after the band really got their roots.
Really?
Because initially, so Brian and I ended up living in the same dorm complex down in East Campus Village.
Nice.
Shout out to them. Yep. So I was outside. I was playing a little hand drum. Just kind of keeping my chops up.
Flexing on campus.
Exactly. And so sure enough, Brian hears me and he comes out and he's like, "Hey, do you play drum set by chance?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he was like, "Do you play with the band?" And I was like, "No, not really." And he was like, "Well, do you want to?" And I was just like, "I don't know how much time I have, but I'd love to come join."
Yeah.
And so I came over for a jam and absolutely fell in love with these three.
Let's go.
And then they were like, "Hey, February 8th, are you free and can you come play a show at the Caledonia Lounge?"
This was like 5 days earlier before we were supposed to be playing the show.
This was February 4th.
Yeah, this
We
was
both
February
didn't have a
3rd.
drummer.
And they didn't have a drummer, so
Damn. Y'all booking shows without a whole lineup? Y'all are crazy, man.
unfortunately, that was my birthday weekend. And I was like, I'm going to be out of town, so sadly, no. So they ended up getting Lena.
Lena Allen. Incredible.
Allen.
Shout out to her, too.
Yes.
She's
incredible.
an unbelievable person. She's into like really indie acoustic music right now.
She
killing
Athens
it.
based?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool,
she is.
cool,
She's
cool.
in school here, and she kills it, too. I don't mean to interrupt your story,
go
but
ahead.
shout out Lena. She's awesome.
It's my
That's
Tuesday
great.
and Thursday homegirl over there.
Yeah.
See her every day,
I
every
love it,
Tuesday.
man.
Every Tuesday and Thursday.
I'm going to have to look her up. She got any music out?
Yeah, she put out an EP.
How do you spell her name?
Lena Allen, Lenall.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, I got it. Continue on.
Yeah, so basically, kind of from that point on, they played with Lena as their main drummer, and our first single, or kind of our first single, has Lena on it as the drummer. So, like a little ways down the line, the next year, pretty much the same time, towards the, actually like in the beginning of the fall semester of last year, Brian and I, still living in ECV,
ECV.
he sees me again and he's like, "Hey, you want to come over and jam again? Like, we all enjoyed it and we'd love to have you back." And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm not going to say no to jamming more." So I ended up tagging on and played as percussionist for a while.
Okay.
And
So like just bongos and stuff?
I
or?
did bongos and kind of timbale style with a lot of
Nice.
cymbals and bells and whistles and
A
just
little extra
weird
flavor.
stuff.
A little flavor.
setup.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was pretty freaking cool, man. I still want to get a percussion player because it was fun.
I could see that fitting you guys' vibe. I could see that. A little percussion. A
in
do it
the
all
background,
kind
you
of
know what I'm
guy.
saying?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but when we decided to go on tour and we were kind of saying like, "Hey, who's in? We kind of have to set it for a month. Like, it's going to be a month on the road. Kind of just have to go with the band." And Lena just didn't have the time to give to that. And,
It's a lot of time.
It makes sense. It's a whole month that she really couldn't do much of anything else. So at that point, I was like, I haven't planned anything for that month. So, I ended up filling in on drums and haven't gone back since.
Nice, man.
Yeah, we found out he was funky.
Yeah. You guys got a great intro story. You guys got that down. That's pretty good. So that is a lot to ask, though. You know what I mean? Like, hey, what are you doing for the next month? You know what I mean?
It was
Like,
one of
hell
those
to
kind
ask.
of make it or break it kind of points where it was like, all right, we've been jamming, we've like been scheduling some shows around people's schedules and all, but this is a point now where if we want to do this tour, we got to start asking some of the hard questions.
You're either in or you're out.
Yeah, are you committed to this? Can you be committed to this? Nothing against you. We still want to jam. We still love you. But can you be committed? And this is the group of four that
I love that,
committed
man.
to doing this.
That's
Can you
great,
ride in a
dude.
van with Brian for hours is one of those.
It'll test you.
Is a
It
requirement.
seemed like that question was directed at me. He ended up jamming in the Groovy
Groovy
Subi for the month of the tour. We took
the vehicle?
So we have the damn jam van.
Okay.
90s Astro van.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's a luxurious ride.
I believe it.
A luxurious ride where the battery, there's some sort of short in the system, and I can't figure it out. I've taken half the dashboard out, the radio doesn't work, nothing works like battery wise in it. And so everywhere we stop, the battery like keeps getting drained. So we'd play a show, stop, unhook the battery, play the show, come back, have to hook the battery back up, crank the car, and go.
To the
So
gas
it's just part of
station.
the process.
That's crazy, man. What kind of van is it?
An Astro van, like
An
a
Astro
95.
van. What the fuck, man?
It's huge. It carries all of the gear and like
Damn.
half of the band.
Got like
that's
350,000 on it.
Oh yeah.
That's a
priceless.
touring machine, man.
Priceless. Nobody's gonna buy it.
Tough sell.
Priceless in what sense of the word?
Yeah.
man?
It got us to point A to point B.
It did. It made it the entire tour.
It
That's
did.
respectable, man. So in the start, like, I guess once you guys do eventually all line up, where are you guys playing at mainly? Like, is there a round you're doing, obviously, before the tour, which the tour wasn't that long ago, right? It was September, right?
That was in the spring.
yeah.
It was in the spring? Okay. So where are you guys starting to play at? Where are you starting to build some roots at, you know what I mean? In the beginning. Anywhere in particular?
In the start, me and Cam played when it was just a duo side of things. We played a lot in Crimson Moon in Dahlonega.
Crimson Moon. I've heard of that.
It's a really, really cool bar. Got a lot of Amy Ray's influence with the Indigo Girl. She put a lot of money into that, and she might be part owner.
It's a smaller place,
But
right?
It is. It's a smaller place, but it's a beautiful place. And so we were playing up in Dahlonega, and then we played a brewery up in the Carolinas, just odding in things that we could find. But once we moved down here, it was like Canopy and the Roots in Dahlonega.
Yeah.
Honestly, outside the Ben and Jerry's, we would just plug in.
Get it going. We'll
Shout out to Ben and Jerry's for openly letting us steal their power with a bright orange extension cord running out of their front door, so we could play music on the streets of Athens. Shout out Ben and Jerry's.
My God. Ben and
Hey, if you
Jerry's.
sponsor us, Ben and Jerry's, we
actually
will get you some followers.
We're looking for an endorsement, please.
Please.
We had a whole run in at first because we were across the street at a Starbucks,
Okay.
and we didn't really ask them if we could use their power either. And so we were plugging in. They were the only ones that had outlets outside, and we plugged in. And then they put up signs: "Don't use like outlets after hours." So we were like, "Fuck the signs."
Fuck Starbucks.
And then, boom. There you go. So
He's on the
we
fuck
go past the
Starbucks
signs, we
wave.
plug
All
in, we play again. All of a sudden, they cover the outlets, and we're like, "You know what? Fuck Starbucks." So
Let's
we got
go
to
to war.
screw what they're covering on the outlets.
I brought a damn screwdriver.
And so there was no longer outlets outside that Starbucks downtown because of us using it after hours. So
They're
then we-
cracking down, man.
Oh yeah. So we called up Ben and Jerry's, and they're like, "Oh yeah, do it."
Yeah.
So shout out Ben and
Shout out
Jerry's.
Ben and
Shout out
Jerry's,
Ben
bro.
and Jerry's for real.
Every other week
Fuck
for
Starbucks.
6 months, we were out there
Really?
jamming from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. just
That's
talking to
hilarious,
everyone
man.
downtown
Yeah.
and
That's
everything.
hilarious.
And
It's
there are
awesome.
people now that come to like every single one of our shows that we met at the in front of the Ben and Jerry's playing those shows. Like people came and they're like, "Wow, you guys are really jamming. Who the hell are you?" And those people have been to almost every show since.
That's
So,
hype, man. That's
yeah,
building
those Ben and Jerry's shows were great.
the
And
Ben and
I-
Jerry's era.
the Ben and Jerry's run, man. We had a 16-day run of the Ben and Jerry's amphitheater. It was awesome.
2 legs of a tour with Ben and Jerry's. That's hilarious, man. That's a good story. Yeah, you guys should keep telling that one. I like that.
Yeah.
People are gonna like that.
but-
So once you get past the Ben and Jerry's stage,
Yeah.
where are you playing at in Athens after that?
So we had our first 40-watt show not too long ago. I think it was October.
Yeah, I remember.
No,
that
it
was
was-
October.
Yeah,
October.
October. Yeah, early October.
Yeah.
And you know that.
7th, because we had
Yeah.
10th was.
I remember I wanted to come because
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like the night before was Avery, and I wanted to see Avery, I think, and then you guys were the night after, right?
Other way around.
Other way
But-
around?
Yeah.
Either way, that whole weekend we were in Tuscaloosa. I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, we're missing 2 good ones at 40 Watt."
Yeah.
But yeah, how was
But
that?
it was great, man. It was a wonderful show. It was super fun. I love
Yeah.
that venue, and
Me
you know
too.
they really did a great job with it. And you know they at the end of the night, you know, the manager was like, "Yeah, we'll have you guys back." So
Yeah.
we're in the works right now of putting together a show with a couple other great bands that
That's
I won't
awesome, man.
disclose right now.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing, you know, there in the coming months. Not exactly sure when, but
Yeah, that's awesome. And you guys were top of the bill on that, right? Headline. Yeah, it was you guys.
Josh Bennett Band and Drew Thomas.
Love that lineup. Big fans of both of them as well. And was there a theme? If I remember correctly, was there a theme?
Tie-dye.
Tie-dye, nice.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are big on the theme thing, right? Don't you guys do that pretty fairly often?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're kind of actually going to be diving into that a little bit harder with talking about like the next 40 Watt show. Like 40 Watt and Smith's Old Bar in Atlanta, we've kind of been developing these relationships with. Smith's is great. We played there twice now, and whichever one of those comes first next, we're gonna have a specific musical theme about it too, and kind of follow that. And it's gonna be like screw it. The next big show that we
Nobody
play
listens to this thing anyway. Go ahead.
It's gonna be blues night, so we're gonna come out wearing Blues Brothers glasses and shit like that, and play a whole bunch of blues classics. And,
That's hype, bro.
Stevie Ray and Jimi Hendrix.
I love stuff like that, man. I think that shit's so cool. It gives you another reason to come. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Just add a little extra layer to it. So
yeah, dude, I'm interested in that too. I wanted to do like 90s night or like 80s night, and like still play originals, but like you can play covers from only that decade. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I think that'd be cool. Yeah. But anyways, that's a great idea.
See, we had realized that just kind of through trial and error and just the more you play, the more you know kind of thing, where it's hard. Like if we booked 4 shows in Athens and one of those is the 40 Watt and they're all in a month and a half time frame, that's you struggle to pull the numbers for like a big, bigger show. And so what we kind of figured out is if you can take some of the bar shows and some of the fraternity and sorority shows and everything, and you play some music and you play your covers and you have a good time and you still party and it's an awesome time, but then separate that from the 40 Watts and the Smith's Old Bars and some of these venues that are like
real venues,
venues, and exactly, and kind of have that separation and have two total difference. Like, you can come for the music on one, but it's going to be a performance on the other. We'll have theatrics, we'll have scripted themes. There'll be scripted things we do on stage and everything, try to make you laugh. Just
scripted.
It's like Cam picks up a mic. Start doing this. All right.
We figured that out at one of our Canopy and the Root shows in Dahlonega. We had a friend of ours, Johnny, come down in a banana suit, and we had this whole like prayer to the banana god kind of, and he filled up our different shot glasses and took a shot with us and everything, and danced around on stage, and then left. Just stuff like that.
That stuff's cool, man. People remember shit like that, and that you guys are pretty smart to be that far into the process, because there is a difference between a bar show and a venue show. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's a different kind of show. And I don't. This is something I think about a lot too, because like, I don't know, like you're trying to ride the line between I want to play a lot and I want when I play to be like good. Like when I play at 40 Watt, I want it to be like, oh fuck yeah, they're at 40 Watt, let's go see him. Or people are gonna be like, oh, they played at Boarset on Tuesday. You know what I mean? So trying to thread that needle, which is interesting. I don't know. Haven't really came out with much on it yet. Other than like, don't promote the bar shows the same way. Do you know what I'm saying?
If you can start really building that separation between what is a bar show and what is a venue show, then I feel like you can get the crowd at both when they know they're going to expect, they can expect something different at both.
Yes. It's a good way to put it. Yeah. How have you guys liked Smith's Old Bar overall? Pretty great?
Love Smith.
How many times have y'all been there?
Fantastic.
Twice. Once in the downstairs room and once upstairs.
Ooh, how was upstairs? I've never done upstairs.
Man, it was great.
What's the name of the upstairs? Is it Atlanta room or music room?
The music room.
Music room's upstairs.
Music room's upstairs? They just redid the lights in there. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, man.
Like a week after we played there, they redid the lights.
Who did you guys do the top room with?
A band called Down Boy out of Nashville.
Unbelievable
psychedelic
Down Boy.
Down Boy.
Yeah, Down Boy.
Holler at them.
2 words, Down Boy. They are an unbelievable 3-piece band.
Interesting. I love 3 pieces. 3 pieces.
I feel like there's like an inherent respect for like a 3-piece. There's you can't have a you can't hide in a 3-piece. You know,
it's like, if one of us messes up, it's gonna be obvious. I have respect for the 3-piece game. My buddies, you guys know Jeff Vernon. Jeff Vernon and Trevor Tripp are doing the 2-piece thing, which I have mad respect for, and they're tight as
terrifying.
They're so sick. But who else was on the bill? Was it just you two?
It was just Down Boy and us. Yeah.
How'd you guys do ticket wise? Pretty good. Pretty happy.
It was all right, honestly, because it was shortly after our 40 Watt show, which ticket wise was great.
Yeah.
But oftentimes when we play Smith's Old Bar, we've had solid Athens crowd come to that show. But since we had played the 40 Watt
4 days,
4 or 5 days before, something like that, we didn't get a huge crowd, but the people that did come, like, were people that haven't been to some of the shows and they happened to be able to make it to this one. It was great. Like, my dad got to come, which was cool. My dad's not been able to come to any of our shows, really. And he came to this one and played a couple songs with us, which was awesome.
That's hype, man. See, that's all that matters is that people there enjoy it.
Yeah, and I mean, it was still a wonderful show, and to a degree, like, of course, I wish that we had sold more tickets, but at the same time, I really loved the fact that when I was standing on the subwoofers talking, I was talking to a group of people that I could tell were all like right there and right awesome. It wasn't like a huge room where you can't see everyone's eyes. You can't really be there. It felt really intimate and great, which was cool for the first big upstairs room show.
Yeah, dude, that's sick.
It was a big moment for me too.
That sounds fun. Sounds fun. It's like a good time. How'd you guys like downstairs?
Great.
Downstairs
great too.
Downstairs is fun.
I think we were only like 2 tickets short of selling out the downstairs.
Damn, nice, man. Who was on that bill? Anybody in particular?
Just us and Drew. That was part of tour this last spring.
Really? Okay. Yeah. That was like the final date, wasn't it? Or wasn't it? Was close to the end?
It was close. Yeah, it was towards the end.
Was Boar's Head, wasn't it?
Yeah, the final one was Boar's Head. We did a Saturday night.
Good old Boar's,
Yeah, that was nice.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, cool, dude. That's sick. Smith's Old Bar. 2 tickets away? That's painful, bro. You guys are so close. So close.
I just told myself it was a sellout.
Yeah, bro. Anybody else asked, that bitch was sold out.
That's what the manager said. He like walked up to he's like, y'all sold out? We're like, really? He's like, well, not really.
She's like, well, no.
He's like, you're 2 tickets short.
Oh, shit, man. That's hilarious, bro.
Yeah, real quick, while we're on the topic of venues, I got to say shout out to Canopy and the Roots. We mentioned them earlier, but you were saying like venues that we've been playing routinely. They were the first venue to have us on a routine basis. Canopy and the Roots in Dahlonega.
They're up in Dahlonega.
Yeah, it's a relatively newer venue.
What's the vibe like?
It's really cool. So it's underneath a coffee shop and yoga studio.
Okay.
And they have this stage that has like roots coming down on top of the stage. Yeah. And it's like a speakeasy downstairs with really like low lighting and couches, but there's they got the stage with a nice like Bose sound system. Sick. It's kind of like an intimate space where you could fit I think a total of 125 people there.
I think it was just under 100 now.
Just under 100? Okay,
yeah. It was like 95 was their limit.
Very, very small vibe. I like that.
Yeah, we played there before they had renovated when you could only have 50 people there. And we got a good Dahlonega crowd out like 2 or 3 times and sold it out I think 2 of the 3 times we played.
That's hype, man.
He just kept he was like, you guys bring a crowd and you're fun and weird and cool, so keep coming back. So shout out Canopy. Shout out Brandon. They were the first to like
shout out Canopy. That's cool. I'm gonna have to look into that. That sounds sick. So
cool.
Tell me, well, I don't want to get too sidetracked about it, but you said that the music scene in Dahlonega is very bluegrass. I mean, I could see that, right? Is there like any kind of scene up there at all though, or is it like just like very scattered?
It's
just curiosity.
Really scattered. So you'll hear some of the best musicians you've ever heard, but they don't play anywhere. There's a band up there called Ugly Cousin. Okay. Beautiful Appalachian bluegrass. One of my favorite bands. 2 of the members were my teachers, like growing up in Dahlonega. And they've won bluegrass awards up in Nashville and everything at these different festivals, but they don't play but twice a year. They'll play like once in Blairsville, once in Dahlonega because they all have a bunch of jobs and they're living life and they're family people now. They're in their
need to get them that Ben and Jerry's contact, brother.
Yeah.
And but there's musicians like that. If you go downtown on any Saturday, there's 15 musicians sitting there just picking bluegrass in the square. They're phenomenal, but there's no like other than Zach Brown coming out of Dahlonega.
Yeah.
No one's like heard of like really any of the venues in Dahlonega. It's pretty quiet.
Name any, and you don't really hear about anybody going there either. But we can't go to every town, I guess. So
exactly.
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, I won't go too long on that, but I was just curious about the Dahlonega scene. That was a good definition, I think.
Just because it was my hometown, that's one reason we go there a lot. I've got a lot of friends and family up there.
Good crowd. Nice, interesting. What was I going to say? Okay, we were on Smith's Old Bar. Where was some other? Okay, so you've been playing around. At this point, do you guys have any music out before the tour, or when does the music start coming out? You know what I'm saying? The originals.
Well, we actually had all of our music that's out right now before we toured. It was kind of like a tour shortly after we released our EP.
Nice.
A Damn Good Time came out, so we went on a damn good tour.
I like it. I remember you guys were like doing the whole. Maybe it was Wednesdays at Boar's, but you guys were doing it a lot and pushing it really hard before. I remember that and thinking that was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, wouldn't you guys just go to Wednesday and play the whole EP for the Wednesday mic night?
I think we did that like 2 or 3 times. We did it
Yeah.
once like right after we released it, and it was a freezing cold night,
Yeah.
and there were like 8 people there. But, but it was like we were super excited because it was like it's our EP release party,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we showed up, and it was like it's our EP release party. Yeah.
No one was there, and the EP got delayed through Spotify, so it didn't even drop that night anyway. So we're like, all right, we're going to try again next week.
Yeah. Second EP release party.
Yeah.
I had that same shit happen on Spotify though. It does that shit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta watch out for it.
That cold came out of nowhere
Oh.
too. It was like
Yeah.
there's like all these people like, yeah, we're gonna pull up to the thing. It was like negative. It was like, all right, sorry, can't make it tonight.
Well, shit. I think that was the first place I saw you guys. That was it's probably like summer. I feel like it was summer at least at Boar's Head. I remember thinking that you guys were extremely solid. Like great like front man thing going on. Really good crowd work going on. Gnarly sax. I remember that, just gnarly sax. And sax is fun. Every time I see a band with a sax, I'm like, okay, we're about to have fun. You know, so that's just the vibe that they throw. Nobody's like playing depressing sax music, I guess. I don't know.
I hope not.
Anyways, I remember you were extremely solid. You two were locked in pretty good, if I remember correctly. And I remember you guys looked like you're having fun. That was what I take away. But yeah, I remember being really impressed. I was like, okay, here's another band in town I really enjoy. So yeah, shout out you guys.
Hey, thanks,
yeah.
man.
Very
Appreciate
nice.
that.
It's funny too. You say that about the sax, where it's like, oh, if the band has a sax, they're
Oh, yeah.
not fucking around.
Yeah.
We were at a show on Lake Smith in Alabama doing Drew's dad's birthday. Actually, we were staying at their lake house. We had set up, rented a PA from Nucci's, like set up, and we were playing out to the party on the lake,
That's
and
sick.
it was a blast. And there's this fellow we met, Les Newby, who we didn't know at the time. It was the first day we had met him because he was driving down the lake in his boat.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I hear some bass. That must be some live music. But I swear to God, if this is a Jimmy Buffett cover band, like, I'm going to be so pissed. And he gets a little closer and he heard some electric guitar.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, you know what? That's pretty together. Like, they sound together. This is pretty
Optimistic.
good. And then he heard the saxophone and he goes, if a band has a saxophone, they're not fucking around.
That's
Like,
what
I
I'm
gotta
saying,
hear this
man.
band. And he came in, and turns out he was he's got a studio down in Birmingham. Fantastic producer. He worked with Early James and I think an early St. Paul and the Broken Bones record. And used to
believe
be a
he was the
guitarist
drummer.
with the Indigo Girls. He was the drummer on that St.
he
Paul
was
record.
The drummer on the
And
first
crazy.
St. Paul and the Broken Bones record.
Yeah.
Ran across him? That's wild.
Just he came there, and then Drew and his family became friends with him. And every time I've been down there, he came out to some of our shows on tour and everything. It was a really cool contact. But it's funny because he's
Yeah,
like,
it's
if
the
a
same
band have
thing.
a sax,
Yeah, man, it's fucking
Ain't
the
fucking
vibe,
around.
man. Do you have anything to say about that? The sax vibe?
That's why I'm the most confident member in the band. It's like
It all comes back to this.
yeah, you know,
man.
anytime somebody hears a band, they're like, "Is that a saxophone?" I'm like,
Saxophone?
"You damn right, it's a saxophone." I'm like, let me doodle some shit. Let me doodle some shit right
I've
here.
always wondered if it's weird for you guys because like there's a lot of times where you don't have to play like long periods of time. Maybe not, but like it's always like, oh, I'll probably sit this verse out or something. You know, is that weird for you or is it like
I don't sit anything.
You don't sit it out, you
well,
just
there's
play it.
there's a few things.
You sit some stuff out, right?
I'll just sit there for. It's like a lead
Yeah?
guitarist. Like instead of taking like a gap between like a lead, I just take that gap for a few seconds, take a breath, and then
Interesting.
just start playing off of Cam's guitar vocals. So,
yeah,
but
interesting.
mostly this guy right here. I listen heavy to the bass and just improv off of his bass lines.
Interesting.
So-
That's
Not
very
to
interesting.
mention that you also rip the harmonica.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
I don't think I've ever seen you play harmonica. You play it live a lot?
It's a rare it's
Yeah.
a rare occasion because I did it at a show. What was it, Rounded Stone?
Played at a few shows. Yeah,
Few
when we
shows,
play
yeah,
Rounded
so-
Stone.
I taught myself how to play it, so
Yeah.
don't come after me if you play harmonica.
Brian's like, the song's in C, the harmonica's in C. I can't fuck up.
That's the mindset right there. That's the mindset.
Oh shit! The thing I didn't realize about harmonica is that you make chords when you suck in too, right? Isn't that how it works? I didn't realize that until I had
It's
one.
different notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than
I
when
was
you
like,
read
well,
out.
fuck, because it seems so simple just blowing out. And I was like, oh, fuck, never mind. Mad respect, yeah.
I think the saxophone, like learning how to, knowing how to play saxophone and playing the harmonica, it's like you can do weird stuff on a harmonica.
You've at least got your breath working.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I'm hyperventilating on the harmonica.
It's like, don't come at me if you play harmonica, but this dude's in the mic going, like, how the hell? Nobody makes that sound.
Turn the harmonica into a didgeridoo.
It's a damn synthesizer.
So what kind of like I hate to keep referring to the start, but actually, how long have you guys been a band total? This is a good question, just to know.
So like as a whole 4-piece, it's been about a year now.
Been about a year, so we're still in the beginning. But anyways, you guys are playing 3-hour shows, right? You're filling a lot of that time in with jamming, covers, originals longer. What are you guys doing set-wise? You know what I mean?
Kind of both. Like, well, we have our kind of set way that we'll do an original, but then we'll be like, all right, let's just extend the jam. It may be 2 minutes in the when we play it or in the recording or when we're like doing the 40 watt and all. Let's make that like 8 or 9 minutes. Let's fall into like a mode jam, fall into E and just kind of improv and figure out where to go from there. Or stuff like actually the last show on tour when we played Boar's Head, we did a whole electric set and it hit us. We had a half an hour of music left and we played every electric song we knew except My Potion, which was going to be our last one, which is about a 12 to 15 minute song.
Nice.
We were like, we got 30 minutes to fill. Let's try and make this a 30-minute song. And we ended up playing a 27-minute My Potion.
So, by the way, he turns and he looks at all of us and he goes, bet you won't play a half hour My Potion.
Challenge accepted.
So we all sitting there like,
okay. I mean, we have to.
yeah, and we damn near did. It was great.
Yeah.
My Potion fell into Franklin's Tower in the middle of My Potion, sang a chorus or two of Franklin's Tower, and then back into My Potion. Just kind of let it go everywhere.
Y'all are on that crazy shit, man. Oh,
Something
wow.
else that I feel like we're quite prone to do is learn random covers or write new songs like literally day before or 2 days before we go on a show. So like when we were playing this October, we made it a point. Brian here has been wanting to play Ghostbusters forever.
Ghostbusters. We did it at an open mic one night. Do you remember that?
That's where it came from.
It was fun as shit, too.
I did all this going crazy on Ghostbusters, and they were like, where did that come from?
Exactly. We were like, what was that, Brian? He just goes, that's Ghostbusters.
Brand new original. Just wrote it last night.
I wrote this one last night.
Ghostbusters.
So
who are you gonna call?
When it came down to October, we were like, it's spooky season. We gotta learn Ghostbusters. And I think we learned Ghostbusters the day before or 2 days before our first show of October.
It was the day before the 40
That was the
watt.
day before
the 40 watt.
Nice.
We were like, shit, if we can get it down, it's an A and B section, right? We got this. Cool.
Yeah? How did it go?
Great. Yeah, it was a hit, man.
Honestly, probably the favorite song from the crowd of the whole show.
Man.
Threw an extended like improv jam in it, made it like a 6.5, 7 minute song.
Oh, nice, man. How often are you guys doing the improv jam kind of thing? Like, is it like every song is like you just kind of take off, or is it like we know we're gonna take off, or you're just like fuck it? Like
good 3/4 of the songs we have a section where it's just like, all right, verse, chorus, jam, verse, chorus, another jam. Like,
so you guys truly are a jam band in that sense.
Oh yeah. For reference, nothing's written down.
Interesting.
We have a set list,
We
and other than that, it's just like, we're going to play these songs.
Yeah.
The names encompass everything. It's like, and there's no like chords written down anywhere. Like, there's like no solos written down. It's like, hey, we're playing 10:30. All right. And that is just everything you need to know, like in that one sense.
How strict are you guys on like order? Are you guys like feeling the crowd out? Like, oh, they need some energy here, or are you like, we've got it, our 3 hours in order, and we're gonna play it?
That's his job.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So it's kind of a mixture of both in a way. Like we try to already go into a show with the mindset of we're going to like kind of play to what the event is going to be type of thing.
Gotcha.
So if it's like a sorority fundraising event, we're probably going to keep the acoustic guitar out and play a bunch of folky stuff and have a real down tempo good time. But if we're playing the 40 watt, then people want rock and roll, hype, fun stuff. So we're just going to go with that. So we try to tailor to it already, like initially.
That's very wise.
But like the first time we played at I think it was Phi Kappa Tau House, we thought it was going to be like a low key chill event, and then we got there and it was clearly a party. So we had a whole set list put together of low key stuff, and I started playing like the first song or two, and it was like singing into the mic about the things that we love, and everyone was like, okay, cool. And then I opened my eyes, and no one was really giving a shit.
Yeah.
So I turned around and I was like, nope, and we like went right into Hey Joe.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely a bit of reading the crowd, and like, what's great too is in some songs like we have like structured improv sessions where like you have 6 bars here to do whatever you want, or here towards the end of the song we're gonna do an improv bit until it's really clear that we're gonna stop, type of thing. Where especially like when we cover Runaway Baby. Oh yeah. There's this whole improv thing towards
take
the
off
end.
with it.
Yeah. And it's really fun to work with the crowd on that because, I can read as to whether or not people are going to clap along, or if they're, just kind of watching what's happening, or if they're really wanting to get into it, or if, they'll sing or that type of thing. So that particular section is extremely fun to really be in touch with the audience and kind of play with them and off of them and their energy, and it's so much fun.
That's awesome.
I have a blast doing that. It's the most fun thing to do on stage, in my opinion.
That's so hype.
And to speak on that, there are songs too. Like we have total improv songs, but that song has like this like almost structured improv section where we fall into it the same way every time. Of like the build, Cam does an improv solo, and then when he comes out of it, he's like, give me a kick drum, boom, and every time we go straight to nothing with the kick, and then from there he builds it, maybe get some sax, maybe, all right, Garrett, try this on the bass and all, and we'll improv it from there. So it might be this initial structure to lead to an improv section, but so some songs I guess are set up that way too, where it's like a structured lead up to that improv.
Like you have the framework, but it's coming. That's super interesting, man. That's very wise of you guys. It's very interesting to hear you say that about like keeping your mind on the crowd, because I will say I won't. No, actually, that's not fair to say, but like I think maybe some bands don't really think about that in the jam sphere. They're just like, all right, we're gonna send this for 9.5 minutes and don't care. But the fact that you guys have it clear, like, oh, we're gonna build this, get people hyped, try to get people to clap, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Remember, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it's funny that like, you mentioned that I might go to the sax, might go to Brian and do something there, or might go to you, or like depends. What people don't ever really talk about, I think, at least not that I've heard, is reading the audience is very important. But for the entirety of that song, I'm also reading these 3 guys. Because if Garrett's really feeling himself that night and hitting all these funky things and going like this, then he's going to, I'm going to go right to him and have him start the groove. But if Brian's sitting there just making everyone's face melt off for the entirety of the song before that.
Per usual. What's new?
Then, most confident member of the band, everybody.
The most humble man in the music industry.
My man.
I especially love going to Max and just being like, hey, Max, floor tom.
Thank you.
What you gonna do with the floor tom, man? He starts killing it, if he's really feeling his runs and stuff. So, reading the audience is great, but reading the band, I feel like, is equally as important to make it all happen the right way.
It's a good point. So a lot of communication, a lot of like, this is next kind of stuff, right?
There's 5 different head nods. There's the you're up. There's the we're shutting it down.
I like the wide eyes. Like, here we go. This is it right here.
Yeah. Speaking on like communication, I've never seen a band like communicate as well as we do with words and without words.
Okay, how so?
Give
me some details.
We don't have to say anything for most of our jams. We do like the wide-eyed thing. They just look at each other like, and it's like
start bouncing a little harder.
We're about, all right, we're about to stop. And like just like you have to really understand, even with words. Sometimes you have to really understand what each other's saying. Like, Garrett will be like, "Hey, can you try something that sounds like do 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 do?" And it's like, yeah. And then I just as
a matter of fact, I can.
Or like, for example, our Runaway Baby in the breakdown session. Like, Cam is literally just spewing words that don't make sense. Yeah. Like, one time,
can I get a
or he was like, "Can I get a waterfall of notes?" And I was like, "What does that mean?" I like
you try.
We click with each other, so I know what he's trying to say. But everybody in the audience is like, "Waterfall of notes."
These guys are super musical.
Yeah, it's just like the communication is like it's not even on a musical level. It's just a step above that. The way we're able to communicate with not even using note words. It's
that's pretty priceless, man. That's pretty rare, man. That's good stuff. I feel like such a clown when I tell drummers to do stuff. I'm like, all right, hey, dude, can you give me that tom beat? He's like, don't. It's like, yeah, I know that doesn't help you, but I'm trying, man.
I think something that's helped a lot is I feel like we do a lot of just weird stuff together, like not music related. Like we'll go up on top of this mountain up in Dahlonega and just spend like a day or two just like chilling up there, just kind of like goofing off, doing nothing important. Like during tour, we were just like, hey, we got like a day and a half before our next show. Let's just go up on top of Frankie's and screw around. And I think that honestly like really helps build it, because it's like it's one thing if you have a lot of talented musicians that know how to play their instrument. It's another thing if all of those talented musicians are friends. Yeah, because they actually like each other and know each other as a person. Like, I know Brian over here, and I know that he's a cocky motherfucker.
That's what's up.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy being.
But the thing is when you know that kind of stuff, you know exactly like if like you can tell how he's playing. Like, oh, he's playing and he's feeling it, so I'm just gonna let him keep going. We're gonna let him just solo until he runs out. Yeah. But like if we didn't know each other that well, it's like, we just kind of have this idea of how we wanted the songs to go. Mm-hmm. And then if we disagree on that, nobody can tell that, because I don't know what Cam's facial expressions mean. I don't know if he's kind of like hunched over or looking some kind of way. I don't know what that means anymore. So, it's like knowing each other as a person and really getting to like, hang out. Like, these two are roommates, so it's...
They know each other.
Exactly. It's like, if having that kind of connection with the band, I think is like extremely important.
I think you're right, man. And I think it's not in every band, man. A lot of bands really don't like each other, or it's more of a work relationship. So you guys seem to actually be friends, though, from what I can tell.
Strictly work relationship.
Don't like each other at all.
No,
there's no Fleetwood Mac thing going on.
Yeah, that's why we sat beside each other. We despise each other.
Cam, are you saying that we're not in a relationship? Oh. Is that?
Things are getting.
I'm passing a message over here.
Things are getting intimate. Let's go. Garrett, link them up.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
All right, Chamber.
Wait.
Yeah,
there we
go.
Thumbnail.
To anyone who is just listening to the podcast, that was very weird for you.
And if you're our Spotify listeners,
they're closing it out right now. They're like, I gotta get out of here. This is weird. But what was I gonna say about that? That's awesome. This is a good question. Who shares beds on tours? I'm curious. Do you guys share beds? Who's the duos?
I've shared a bed with this man like 3 times.
Yeah.
Well, one
time. Or do you guys
time,
switch it up?
I mean, it depends. It's very off the cuff, wherever you fall asleep type of thing. But whenever we played in Tennessee, we played in Franklin, but we stayed in Nashville. Okay. And we were staying with good friends of ours, a band that they went under the name Fresh Squeeze.
We only refer to them as Fresh Squeeze.
Yeah.
Fresh Squeeze.
Honeymoons. Sorry.
They have
the Honeymoons. Shout out Honeymoons. They're amazing.
Honeymoons. Yes, I've heard good things.
They changed it, though. Fresh Squeeze is so good.
Yeah, Fresh Squeeze is a good name.
But we were staying with those guys, and their house was not accommodating to have a lot of people there and to relax comfortably. It was accommodating to have a lot of people there all playing music together, because there was just a big empty living room with one couch and a bunch of amplifiers.
One couch.
And so the one couch laid down, and it was like this wide, maybe. And a twin bed length, and that was Brian and I's bed. So we were like back to back, just kind of curled up under the same blanket at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Brian's sleeping. I'm sitting there still wearing off some mushrooms.
Yeah,
and just like so tight on this little couch thing. He just
leans over, puts his arm around me.
It's gonna be okay.
Cam is definitely a cuddler. Yeah, there was a night on tour when we were up in Dahlonega, and Garrett's sister Kayla, shout out Kayla, had this awesome little camper thing on top of her car, and she offered to let us try it out, and we were like, heck yeah. So I had a tent, but it wasn't that warm, and I was like, I feel like I'm gonna get real cold tonight. So Cam was already gonna be sleeping up there, and he was like, hey Max, if you want to join me up here, you're good. And I was like, sure, there's enough space. And sure enough, at like 2 a.m, I wake up in Cam's arms just like around me. And I was like, you know what? This is good.
This is nice. This is nice.
And that's the communication. That's
Yeah, this is where it all comes back to.
It's a physical connection.
Oh God.
That's hilarious, man.
And now the people are definitely closing out.
What the that or they're listening really intently.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's actually just a drawing of the sticks thing. Like,
Yeah.
You
It's wherever you end up.
Yeah,
Are you
it's
guys
like-
hotel guys? Are you guys always trying to hang out with people that you meet? Or
We're in the back of a full van kind of guys.
Oh, word. Is there
Slept in the
beds
van
there?
a couple times, camped a couple times,
Nice.
stayed in a lot of people's houses.
This man literally sleeps on the floor most of the places we go.
Nice.
Pretty much all of the time we were in Nashville, he slept on the ground.
Well, I slept in the van until it got too hot when the sun came up, and then I moved to the house on the floor. So,
Sounds like a deep sleep.
oh, you know it. The entire tour, I may have got
Yeah?
like 25 hours total.
Over a month?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever spent the night in a hotel.
No,
We've
we've never done the hotel.
Wait,
No,
hold up.
We can't afford the hotel.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
that was
I
a special occasion.
That was a special occasion.
But it was not with the band.
We tried.
Friends of the band.
He wouldn't let us come.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He really, yeah.
Oh shit! Well, let's talk about this tour more. Give me the rundown on it. What was the routing like? What was the planning? What was the booking like? Kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, in terms of booking, we all did it.
Together kind of thing?
Hold on. Shout out to Marina. She definitely helped. She got us the first gig in Birmingham at a festival.
Marina.
It was
What's
really
her
cool.
last name?
Falache?
Is she younger? She's like
Yeah,
a
I think she's like 21 now.
sophomore UGA.
No, she lives
no?
in
South Carolina.
no,
She was
going up
Carolina.
to Boone.
North Carolina.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Charleston.
Well, continue on. Sorry.
But yeah, she helped us, get a gig or two, and then we all shot emails around and got the whole route going. It was Birmingham, and then Dahlonega, and then Nashville, and then South Carolina, and then a bunch of Georgia gigs.
That's
so we just
sick,
kind of did
man.
a little like spiral type of thing.
Nice.
And it was nice because all of us have different backgrounds in different places. Because, Brian over here is from Savannah, and Garrett over here is from Dahlonega, and Cam and I are from Atlanta. And then Drew, who was with us on tour, he's
I
from
love Drew.
Dahlonega.
Yeah. Big
Yeah,
Drew.
he
From
was
Birmingham.
he's from Birmingham.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said
Mind if I
Dahlonega.
just-
But it just helped kind of having all of these little connections. Then we knew Fresh Squeeze up in Nashville. So we just kind of had all of these connections in all of these different places. So basically we all just kind of we're like, all right, let's over these 2 weeks, just reach out to who you know.
Yeah.
And let's just kind of throw these shows together. And we had a few key shows that we already knew we were going to. We had the date for the first Birmingham show. We had the date for the Nashville show. And then we had the date in South Carolina. And we were like, whoever has this area, you have a week. And just figure out what shows you can fit into that week.
That's
So,
awesome.
Garrett was like, all right, I'll go out to Dahlonega and anywhere in that area, try to find a show or two between, Birmingham and Nashville. And just
On the route.
fill in whatever we can.
Well, that's an awesome way to do it, man. Just out of curiosity, where'd you guys play at in Birmingham and Nashville?
The Nick. I was
Oh,
going
I
to say,
love
I
the
know
Nick.
you
Yeah.
went down there
I
and
like the
played
Nick.
some. The Nick
Nick's
is
cool.
awesome.
You guys enjoyed it?
Oh,
it was
yeah.
How was the
man.
crowd? You guys have any crowd?
We played on a Thursday or Tuesday night, I think.
That's
yeah,
tough.
so
That's
it
tough.
was.
Saturdays are tough
it was,
out there
it
for
was
the
a
crowd.
fun. I mean, it was a fun show. Everybody was sick that show.
Oh
and-
yeah, we all came down with a pretty shitty head and throat cold type of thing. So Garrett and I we ate 4 caffeine pills before because
Just
and
keep you alive.
4 caffeine pills and 2 NyQuil before the show. To, try to get dude,
Not even the Dayquil?
dude, we felt like shit, man. So
got loopy.
3/4 of the show, 3/4 into the show, my voice pretty much went out.
Oof.
But the thing is, the Nick is a super grungy, awesome
Yes.
rock bar. When my
So
voice went out, I just sang like this, and it kind of worked. Honestly, I kind of made the songs more hardcore.
You fit
and-
in even better there.
yeah,
yeah.
it worked out pretty well, and honestly, we had a few people come out and see us. We had some of our friends that were following us kind of with almost every show that we played, and
That's
then we had
awesome.
a couple friends of Drew's come out, and then
Yeah.
the people at the bar were vibing too. One of the bartenders came and just jammed out for a song or two and just hung
Nice.
out, and we didn't really have much of a crowd, but we ended up I think we had $5 tickets, and we walked out of there with a bunch of free beer and $20.
Nice. Yeah, word. It's one of those places though. It's just cool to play there. You know, it's very cool. Good
so
sound actually. Yeah, great history. I thought I read like this whole article about the history of it. It was really cool. And dude, honestly, I don't ever see any videos of it being packed ever. Not like hating on it, but like, you know, you just don't ever see the Nick like packed out. But yes, that's awesome. So you guys enjoyed that. Where'd you play at in Nashville?
Oh, so it was actually Franklin, Tennessee, technically.
Franklin,
not
okay.
really Nashville.
Yeah, how far is that away? I don't know that.
20
area.
minutes.
Yeah, 20,
It's a
25
suburb.
minutes.
I mean, it's just like Marietta is. To, like,
Yeah, word.
It's like,
I call that Atlanta any day.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, same type of thing.
Especially
so,
on a tour.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the Mockingbird Theater.
Mockingbird Theater sounds nice.
Oh, it's
It
beautiful.
honestly, it really was. It was a fantastic venue. It's really cool, very like auditorium style. The stage is here, and then the seats go up a ways, and it was
man.
really cool.
Old school brick.
Yeah.
Like theater too.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
It was
That's
great.
cool, man.
Yeah, the mix was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, on stage and off stage. Like, we played with Fresh Squeeze and Down Boy. Those were the two.
nice,
you know,
nice.
and they of
Nasty
course
show.
killed their sets as they always do.
As
And
they do.
you know, it was great to be able to play with those guys. It's like a really pretty darn cool venue. Like
Yeah?
it wasn't super huge, and it didn't have like an unbelievably fancy green room or anything, but it was a really solid place to play.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Places like that are so fun, man. Yeah. You had a green room? That's great.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And then you came back to Dahlonega. I'm trying to route it in my head.
No, we
So-
went to Canopy and the Roots in Dahlonega, then up to Nashville.
Gotcha.
And then from Nashville over to a festival on Lake Hartwell on the South Carolina
This was the
side.
last minute thing, right? I feel like Drew mentioned some sort of last minute festival you guys picked up. Is that correct or not?
It wasn't really necessarily last minute. It was
Day, the last minute.
Doodah Day was what we kind of based. That was like the
That was
first
the
one.
first show in
First
Birmingham.
It wasn't necessarily like a last minute festival. It was
Yeah.
just it's a very unique festival.
What was the name of it?
Slappin' and Howlin'. It's at a piece of land that I'm lucky enough to have my parents have a piece of, and I get to go
sick.
and be a part of this wonderful community called Avalon there.
Really?
And they have a bunch of really wonderful people who are a part of it. Some of the most brilliant people I've ever met.
Drew
Architects.
and his parents are part of
Yeah,
it.
Drew and his parents are part of it. That's how I've known Drew my whole life, basically, is from
That's
this
sick.
piece of land. And, there's this wonderful group of extremely intelligent, wonderfully kind people who have built this community type of thing with, stages and buildings and houses and all types of stuff. And, it was kind of like a low-key, almost, not like a secret festival type of thing, but like you got to know about it. You got to know people. You have to be part of the circle to come to
Interesting.
it. And it was us and Fresh Squeeze went to this festival and got to play it because Leo of Fresh Squeeze, he was the bass player, now he's the vocalist,
Okay.
and he's been a part of it his whole life too. Same with Marina, their brother and sister.
Okay.
So it's like
Okay.
this was a really cool like culmination of like a very family atmosphere for a festival where we got to go, and it was really wonderful to me because I've known these people that were there for damn near my entire life. So
Yeah.
to be able to go there with my band and be like, look at what we've done. Look, this is
doing
our
something.
music. We're having this fun time, and to have everyone be like, what the hell was that? Oh my God, It was a really cool, very intimate, awesome festival.
That's hype, man.
It was
I get
by far my favorite show of
Nice.
the tour because it was a whole weekend of partying
Yeah.
in the woods and playing music. It was
That sounds
great.
really fun.
It's a lot of improv too. We'll sit for 3-4 hours with 8-9 musicians and just
Damn.
improv for that whole time. There was one jam, I guess not this last year, but the year before that we played with Fresh Squeeze that
Yeah.
lasted literally. It was an hour and a half improv nonstop.
Yeah.
Damn,
Well, like
man.
It
overall,
was
the whole
insane.
thing was like 6 hours. Like
Mhm.
all the recordings we got was like 6
crazy,
hours. Of
It was
improv.
wild.
That sounds like fun. The way you talk about it sounds fucking. I want to go. That sounds cool, man. It sounds really cool.
It's a wildly wonderful
Is
experience.
it a once a year kind of thing?
It is
Yeah.
a once a year type of thing. It's
Very cool.
I think they're doing it again this year. I don't know when,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Better get on the schedule. Sounds like y'all had fun, man.
it's a good
Oh,
time, man.
big-
And then where'd you guys go from there? It'd be South Carolina, right?
That was in
was-
South
that
That was
Carolina.
in South Carolina. Okay.
So then we came back to Georgia.
Nice to do Boar's Head and
And
Smith's
Smith's
in Atlanta.
yeah.
Smith's in Atlanta. Dude, this is a good little tour.
And the Imperial.
Yeah,
over in
the
Elberton.
Imperial.
Imperial.
The
Elberton.
Imperial
I've
Lounge.
never heard of it. Is it nice?
It's it's the only bar in Elberton. Like on this trip, it's a little dive bar that no one knew who we were that were
Yeah.
there, but everyone had fun that was
That's
there.
great,
so.
man. Well,
Yeah.
shit, dude. I'm excited. Are you guys have any plans for another tour? Because it sounds like you guys got it going on. Any plans to widen the scope anymore or anything?
Nothing particularly in the works.
Uh-huh.
Just kind of right now I think just kind of trying to like build our following and like really get our name out there before we go places.
Gotcha.
Because it's kind of difficult. If we really wanted to spread our scope, it's like, you know, okay, sure, we could book this place up in, you know, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But if nobody's ever heard of us in Kentucky, we'll have like 4 people there. And,
yeah, it's tough to round it out.
That's, you know, like $200 of getting up to Kentucky just for, you know, maybe one new Spotify listener. You know, it's like I think at this point we're really just trying to get that loyal following like really rooted. Before then we can really just kind of go anywhere and at least someone will follow us and hopefully we'll have enough reach at that point from Athens to where people will be like, oh snap, I found this band on Spotify and let's go see what they're like in person and hopefully get
that's a really good plan. I think you guys can't go wrong with that. I think what was I going to say about that? Tell me about the new single is what I was going to say. What's the plans on this? I heard a little bit of details from him earlier, but I want to hear the plan for the new single/EP. What should we expect coming up?
Well, so it's almost finished. I've been working on it a lot. I was the recording engineer and producer of the whole thing.
Nice. Where'd you record it at?
At home.
Nice.
Recorded almost the entire thing on one microphone.
Word. What microphone? I'm just curious.
It's an AKG. It's very similar to an SM57, but it's from the 1960s. It was his granddad's in his granddad's recording studio. Mm-hmm. It's a very beautiful microphone. I wish I knew what model it was, so some microphone nerd could look it up and tell me how cool it is. I don't know. It just sounds really unique. It has a really awesome tone to it. So
AKG's quality, man. Yeah. That's exciting. So what kind of sound are we looking at here? Did you guys do it? I'm assuming like separately, like guitar first, drums first, something like that.
Yeah, I just kind of got a wild hair to record this song. One day I had a couple of hours of nothing to do, and I was like, screw it, I haven't recorded in a while, so I laid down the bass tracks, and it came really naturally. Like we had played the song live a couple of times, and so it wasn't like it was a brand new song, so it just started coming together. And after I laid the guitar down, I was like, wow, that's really cool, and I wonder what it would sound like with a little bit of bass on it, and I went and I played some bass on it, and it was like, damn. And I showed it to these guys, and they were like, damn. Damn. So we just kept going, and Max laid down, or you laid down some sax after that, and then Max took a couple different things doing percussion and drums and all that type of thing. So I'm almost finished mixing it, which is I have good and bad news. The good news is, if anyone's been curious what song it is, we're going to be releasing Jet Black Moon. If you've heard it live, I don't know if you've heard it live. I don't know if I know that in
particular, but maybe
it's a song I wrote when I was sitting completely alone for miles
in Alaska.
Shut up.
In his mom's basement.
And so it has a really cool vibe to it. It's a completely different thing than anything we've ever released before.
Sweet.
But that's the good news. The bad news is, since I'm still working on it and I'm not the most efficient sound engineer, it's probably not going to come out quite at the end of the month like I wanted it to. It's probably going to be first couple weeks of December.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. Make sure it's right.
Exactly.
You don't want to have to sit there and listen to it every time and go, fuck, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, should have done this. You should get somebody else to take just a listen at it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm having a couple different people. Like we'll listen to it and give critiques and morph it and shift it. And I mean, it's getting really close. I'm really happy with the way it sounds right now. I just need to shift a couple different things.
Brian's buddy going to master it.
Jeff. That's what I'm talking about. Same guy.
Jeff's going to master it.
If you get a chance, especially if he's mastering it, get him to take a glance at your mix, and he can help you with little stuff that'll help them master. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I mean your stuff sounds really good.
Yeah,
it sounds really wonderfully produced.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is that where you did that last Blinding Lights?
Yeah,
single?
we did Blinding Lights on an 8-track tape machine, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
Jeff's
beautiful.
got a sick old Tascam that's really sick.
He's just got a whole
setup,
dude.
I would highly suggest you guys start working with Jeff, because Jeff is a master of audio. Very, very much respect for him.
I was curious too. What made you choose Blinding Light?
What made us choose Blinding Lights?
Yeah.
We just kind of sauced it up for the live set. Like nobody was asking for it really, but nobody wanted it.
But you gave it to them.
Yeah, it was the guitar player's idea, and then we were like, fuck, all these synth lines are like perfect guitar hooks, if you get what I mean. And we transferred over, and people just fucking lose their minds when we played it. So we're like, okay, maybe this is a good cover choice to record. Not that we want to record that many covers, but yeah, that worked out nicely. Thanks for asking, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a great take of it.
I
really enjoyed it.
I think it sounds like us. I'm pretty proud of it. Mm-hmm. And that's all Jeff, man. I mean, I helped him produce it and everything, but that's us playing live, running into his tape machine, and then we sauce it up with some samples, and I did the vocals separate, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would love to hear you guys playing live into this tape machine. I feel like you guys would dig that.
What's like the biggest difference that you've noticed playing, like recording onto tape versus recording?
I'd say like warmth would be the main thing. Like things in digital can sound a little sharp, and I've made like a ton of songs in digital, not hating on it, but like just once you record it in tape machines, like, oh, this has a lot less edge, I guess. You know what I'm saying? In a good way. But like I'm still not one of those guys to be like, I'm not recording on tape, like I'm not gonna be like, if it ain't on tape, then fuck it, you know what I mean? I'm still like, digital's so fine, you know what I mean? But it was my big thing for that one was doing it live. I think was the important thing that I wanted to get, because it's kind of like a moving song, kind of makes you dance.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I would love to see you guys work with Jeff. If you guys ever need somebody, I told Drew the same thing though. Drew called me wanting to know who he should do his EP with now that he's doing it here, and I was like, fucking hit Jeff up. Because Jeff's got all the mics, all the tape stuff. It's very cool.
I've already done some work with Jeff. And
have you?
Yeah, dude. Man,
what'd you do with him?
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it.
Oh, it's a secret? Now I really want to know.
I do a lot of recording with other artists.
Okay.
In Athens, just because.
Oh, I remember.
I'm that good.
I had to leave. Because I'm the best of the best. That's all there is to it.
I'm just the best. No, it's I got invited to work with a really talented.
Okay. Now I remember. Okay, I was leaving as you were coming in. Okay.
I was just goofing off with him, and he made me sound a lot better than what I am. So thank you, Jeff.
Shout out Jeff. Yeah, that's hype. I'm ready for that record. Has anybody else heard that one or just you?
Bro, I've heard all of it. It's pretty damn tight.
It's pretty damn sick. You guys will sure figure out who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
I have a really quick question by the way, and it's kind of a technical thing. So
hit me with it.
But when you recorded Blinding Lights and released it, did you have to get a sample clearance? Not a sample clearance, but like an interpolation clearance or anything like that?
No, you have to get, if you're on DistroKid. Are you on DistroKid?
No, Record Union.
I'm sure it's got the same thing, but you go on there and you pay a one-time fee to release a cover song, and it covers and collects everything for you and makes sure all the royalties go out to them as well.
Cool.
How much was that fee, if you don't mind me
asking? It was $12.
Oh, nice.
But there's different ways to do it, because I'm on 2 different distributors right now. And some of them do $12 a year, and I was like, "Fuck that! That's like for life." You know what I mean? That'll add up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I found one that's $15 one-time fee. I think I'm just gonna start doing that.
Nice.
But yeah, they take care of all the collection and shit like that.
Okay,
but
cool.
Yeah,
I was just curious about that.
Yeah, it's a good question, man. Appreciate it. Where was I going with this? I got sidetracked. We're coming around Victory Bend, so I guess you guys should start telling me like. What's the ambition? What's the long-term plan? Where do you guys hope to be in the next couple of years? What's next? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a big question, but
I guess we can start this because I actually want to hear your take on kind of this idea and direction that we've talked about. Is on this last tour, it was okay. We're going to take a month and we're not working. We're on the road and we're going to tour.
Yeah,
and granted, we made enough money to pay rent and bills, which was awesome. Huge goal and success. To be like, you know what, this month I paid everything with tour money.
That's high.
But that's hard to stay consistent doing that without something on the side, or being in multiple bands doing that.
Totally.
So kind of the idea that I've talked through with them is try and build consistency, and once you're consistent enough, that is a tour. So like if we can get 5 to 6 shows a month by December and stay consistent with that and build that to maybe 10 by May and by August maybe 12, 15, and once we're hitting 15, 20 shows a month, that is tour, and we can kind of spread out from there. What is your thought on the approach of a consistency build up to a tour versus just like, we're setting aside this time to tour?
That's a good question, man. I like questions like this. I'm into this kind of stuff. I think about it way too hard, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It's really hard to be like, all right, everybody, you got to have 2 months of nothing. Like, get ready. Let's go. And I think it adds up to a lot of like Tuesday and like Monday shows, in my opinion. So, like, if you could, I think the way to do it is to, like you say, like, start kind of playing some. And you guys have relationships with these places now, but, like, I hate to say be the weekend warrior, but, like, a tour of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday shows every weekend is the same as Monday through Friday for 2 weeks. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can go Thursday through Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every weekend for fucking, I don't know, 4 months. That equals out to 3 months straight, or 3 weeks straight. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, there's no, like, people, like, do, like, 3 shows in like, one state away, and they call it a tour, you know what I mean? So, like, I feel like weekends is the way to go, kind of. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, your crowd is going to be bigger, too, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? So, like, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know if this makes any fucking sense, is that 3 weeks straight as opposed to 2 months of weekend shows, the 2 months of weekend shows would be your better move, in my opinion. That's just me, though.
It makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And Thursday, Friday, Saturday crowds are almost always better, you know what I'm saying?
You make money that way, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'm staggering our current spring tour. We're doing, like still make it worth your time travel-wise. Like, we're going to go, like, Columbia, Charleston. Columbia, and then 2 nights in Charleston. We're going to do Knoxville, and then Nashville. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do Charlottesville, Virginia, and then D.C. and come back. We're going to do fucking Tuscaloosa and then Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, hit somewhere on the way. And if you can play somewhere 2 nights in a row, I'd fucking love doing that, you know? Get to plant roots for a minute. You get to invite the people that saw you the night before to come see you again. You get to hang around in the town for a minute and enjoy it, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's just my take on it. But if you guys want to set aside 2 months and get after it, there's nothing wrong with that, man. I respect the shit out of it. I wish I could, man. That's hard, man. That's tough. But
yeah, it is.
It is. Does that kind of answer your question, though?
Yeah, it does. I was just curious your take on that. Cause, we've been kind of gearing towards a more consistency route, but I like the idea of that Thursday through Saturday. That's a great idea.
Relatively appealing, and the crowds are almost always better on the weekends, as I'm sure you guys know.
That's what we ended up playing.
Nice.
Like, I think we played 10 shows on tour, and 9 of the 10 shows were Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah, that's very wise, very wise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's a lot to think about. Tour routing's tough, man. It's a bitch, because in one place you'll be like, yeah, we want you on the 25th, and it's like, just doesn't line up with somebody else who wants you on the 12th, and it's like, fuck, you know what I mean? We went down to Myrtle Beach and played at a Tin Roof, which is like a cover bar kind of thing. And we were down there, and a Clemson fraternity called us and wanted us in the morning for a tailgate. I was like, fuck, man, we have to leave right now. And then he talked me into it, and the next night we had to be in Tuscaloosa, and we were going to have all day to drive, but instead we drove to fucking Clemson, played the noon tailgate, drove straight to Tuscaloosa to play the night slot, barely made it, and was like beat down. I was like, yeah, I don't even know if this is fun right now, you know what I mean? Like, we're working too hard here, kind of, you know what I'm saying?
I was watching you do those runs, I was like, this man is a workhorse, holy shit.
Our voices were beat, our ankles were hurting, we weren't really... Like, I mean, you just play so many, it's where you can't, like, care about every detail anymore, you know? I hate to say beats the fun out of it, but, like, it definitely is not as fun as, like, one show on Saturday. You get what I mean?
If you know you have a day or two to sleep in, I can do that. Like, to end out our October, I ended up with the damn jam band, a show with Drew, and I filled in for a week with the Josh Bennett band on bass while Gabe was out of town. There was 16 shows in, like, 20 days that I ended up playing. Nice. And to round it out, it was... 4 hours with Josh Bennett Thursday night, a 3-hour show Friday night, and then played 1 show with Josh Saturday and 2 shows with the damn jam band Saturday. So it was like 5 shows in that. If I didn't have Sunday to sleep, I'd have been like, fuck it. You know? But I feel like if you can have a day or two of just like, you know what? I might wake up to watch a movie on the couch and go back to bed. Then it's very much more bearable.
Exactly, man. It's tough, man. It's not easy because then you think about it, you're on the road, you're like, fuck, can we take a day or 2 here? It's like, no, we'll lose hundreds of dollars, like just in like eating and like, you know what I mean? Like if you're staying in a hotel, which we always do. And I don't know, man. It's a lot of fun, though. If you can get it routed correctly, it's very nice. I'd say, like, you guys are already doing it right, though. Like, you had your key dates and you planned around those, which is very wise. And get your money gigs in place, kind of, and like, okay, we can play this little bitty tiny place the night before if they'll book us and make no money because we know on Saturday we'll make enough to get us home or get us to do what we're doing. But yeah, man, booking's not easy. But you guys seem to already be on the right path with it. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I hope that helps.
No, it definitely does.
Yeah?
That's been the nice thing about camping is that we don't have to spend any money on camping.
That's great.
You know what? We're all giving to.
We're just like, all right, we all have either a hammock or a tent or something. We can just find some public piece of land somewhere, and we all like it. So it's like, we sit around a fire for a night or two, and either we do that or we know somebody, and it honestly saves us a lot of money. Like, we all ended up walking away from tour with pocket money. Like,
that's hype,
I ended up being able to buy a brand new snare drum that I paid like $600 for.
Let's go,
and still had money to spare.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you guys were profitable, but I feel that's a tacky question, I guess.
We were.
I slept on rocks, so
slept on a rock and in a front seat.
Plus, I mean, like, not only does the whole camping thing like save money on tour, but it's also like, I mean, we write some of our best songs through camping. We'll go in the woods, and some of us will get a little extra twisty and have some things come into mind and write songs about it.
That's where When Tomorrow Happens came from.
Yeah, I mean that's
show you the door.
Show you the door. Yeah, exactly.
Literally wrote that one on tour and then played it at most of the shows on tour afterwards.
We did. We wrote that one 2 days before the Nick and played it at the Nick.
That's hype. Well, you guys hold on to that. That's you guys' essence. You get what I mean? That's kind of like how you guys are doing it. I respect that,
man. It's part of the vibe. It's
very cool.
I don't really want to change doing it. Like, it'd be nice for every now and then, like if we start really making money on tour, to stay at like
have a shower,
pretty dank ass places. But then if we got 4 days on the AT, bet your ass I'm sleeping in a tent for 4 days.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I like that,
with nature.
Man.
What the?
Hit a reset button while you're on tour.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm gonna go cuddle with a cow.
Did you say cut open or cuddle?
Cuddle.
Cuddle
He's
with
gonna
a cow.
go full
One before
Star
the
Wars
other.
with the tauntaun.
Hey,
crawl on inside.
You got to do some things when it comes nighttime. It gets cold.
Looks at camera.
Night on hot.
You got to look right at the camera.
Oh shit! Well, that was awesome, you guys. You guys have any closing notes for the camera you'd like to say? Anywhere? Where can we find your music? What do you guys name on Instagram? That kind of stuff.
All right, well, Instagram is CDJ Band for Cam and his Damn Jam Band.
Nice.
So
Damn Jam Band.
And the man with the Dan and
as every drunk person says every time they ask.
It's a great name, by the way. I'm a big fan of the name. That's a nice ring.
But the Instagram was shortened to CDJ Band because too many times I would be like, the Instagram is Cam Damn Jam Band, and people would be like,
what?
Dan's Band?
Yeah.
No. But you find us anywhere you find people with music, if it's Apple Music or Spotify or Tidal or SoundCloud or whatever you use, we're out there. iTunes and YouTube and whatever the hell.
It's usually on all that good shit.
Yeah,
all that good shit.
We got our new single coming out within
December.
the month. Yeah, early December probably. I'm going to give an actual date whenever I actually finish making it sound beautiful. I'm very excited to release this song.
I'm excited to hear it.
I didn't properly express that earlier, I feel like. 'Cause, man, this song it's so... Like, we have a fun sound, I think. This is a powerful song. It's it's a deep, awesome, groovy, swinging, powerful song.
About as serious as we get.
Yeah, it's about great. It is about and the saxophone on it is gnarly. I gotta say,
no chance.
It's dirty.
The first time I heard it, I was like, "This might be the most beautiful I've ever heard Brian play the saxophone."
Why are you guys gassing him up, bro? He's already confident. It sounded like shit, man.
I back it up, man. I back it up. No, I'd like. Oh, you wanna go?
No.
You guys would have killed me if you'd been like, "Yeah, it sounds pretty good, but the weak link is really the
saxophone." That guy sucks. No, I'd like to I just want to give a shout out to like literally all of our family members.
Yes.
Like, we would not be the tour would not have happened if it was not for Max's parents giving us places to stay. Like, Garrett's parents giving us places to stay, helping us out along the way, coming out to our shows.
Drew's parents.
We stayed at their lake house and their house.
Yeah, shout out Miss Mara. We love you.
I
love you, Miss Mara.
Shout out Drew.
Just like,
what's up?
my mom, I got to give you a shout out, Mom. I love you to death. But just like all the support, classic Ashley, all the support they've given us, like, literally, there's nothing better knowing that, like, it's not just your parents, but you've got 3 other sets of parents that just come out there and support you no matter what, and they're 100%. Super excited to see you, and they're just great people too.
Yeah, I really feel like we have a really great both backing and safety net with everyone that we have, because I mean Garrett's sister has been doing art for the band since we started. His dad has also assisted with making the cover for A Damn Good Time.
Shout out Mr. Scott.
My mom got me my acoustic guitar.
And also printed out all of our
posters,
flyers and everything. And his dad wrote, 10:30 and played with us in Atlanta. And then my dad was the technician for our EP and, really mix and
you guys
master
got a whole
that.
Culture going on.
So
here.
It's been great, knowing that we already have at least someone to help really get us going.
Yeah, someone rooting for you.
It's we're not just in this and have to do everything for ourselves. We have, friends and family that are there with us every step of the way that we can really if we need to, fall back on and be like, hey, we don't know where to go from here.
Yeah.
You know, where can we really, what can we do to push ourselves back up? And having all of these friends and family are really, like,
priceless, man.
What's helping us get as far as we can. And I think that's been really one of the best, experiences, is just kind of knowing that everywhere we go, we have someone there for us.
Yeah. Shout out to the whole damn Jam family.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
The whole damn
exactly
Jam
what it is. It's a family.
You know who
Jam fam.
I live with you.
He does indeed.
I do. I
live
with some of them. You know.
Well, that's awesome, you guys. I really like what you guys going on. I'm a fan. I like the energy you guys got going. This whole culture, if you want to call it that. I like it, man. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. Keep that good energy, and you guys are gonna be fine, man. Keep living it, man.
That's the hope.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Is that what's up?
That's what's up.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
All right, everybody. Oh, yeah.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Y'all are foolish, man.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it an hour and 15 minutes, I'm very proud of that. Check us out on Jameson _OTR on Instagram. Check us out Spotify, Apple Music, all that shit. Thank you guys for coming on. It was a blast.
Thank you for having us. It was a wonderful time.
Let's do it again in like 6 months. We'll see what you guys do in 6 months, and we'll get back in here. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Give them a wave for the thumbnail. If we
Ladies,
don't
I'm single.
Yeah.
Extremely.
All right. Extremely.
We'll see y'all.